Welcome to 3 Minute Retro, and today we're going to talk about Commodore 64C. Now, this Commodore 64C was introduced in a Commodore 128 style case, and it was kind of the wedge shape era. So it was in a more modern case, more aesthetically pleasing case, and a case where you didn't have to hold your wrists so high to type on it. So it was kind of better all round. The new model really didn't offer much over its predecessor, the original Commodore 64 bread bin model. The real innovation was the flatter case, but it also had redesigned internals. But the Commodore 64C was only a Commodore 64C outside of Germany, because in Germany they decided to call it the Commodore 64-2, and this name was originally because the sticker on the bottom of the computer wasn't ready, and even though it reverted back to the 64C as its official designation, in Germany the 64-2 stuck, and that's what it was known throughout of its life. Now, a lot of the first 64Cs were bundled with GEOS. That's predominantly in regions where the floppy disk drive was more used than the actual cassette system. So really, predominantly outside of the UK and parts of Europe, these machines were bundled with GEOS. GEOS is fairly rare to be found with these machines inside of the UK, because at the time cassette-based software was the format that predominantly most people were used to and used on these machines. Although almost 100% compatible with the original Commodore 64, there are a few differences. The CPU is a 6510A and it runs at 0.985 MHz PAL and 1.023 MHz in NTSC. The coprocessor is the VIC-2 and the sound is the SID chip. Now, the sound on these shortboard Commodore 64Cs is completely compatible with the original Commodore 64, but a lot of people say that it sounds either a little bit too clean, or it doesn't have the same amount of depth as the original SID on the Commodore 64 bread bin. But then again, if you didn't do them side by side and make a comparison, you would probably never notice. It contains 64 kilobytes of RAM, 20 kilobytes of ROM, text mode is 40 by 25, graphics mode start off at 320 by 200. It has 16 colors plus 16 border colors. The sound chip is identical in inception to the original SID chip, with 3 voices, 9 octaves, 4 waveforms, and the sound output is through RF, through the TV. And this machine was launched in 1987, quite a few years after the original Commodore 64 was launched around the world. And the original price for this machine was $229, so it was competing at the time with the likes of the Atari 800 XLs, which had dramatically dropped the prices of their machines. So initially this machine didn't sell. Commodore then revised their pricing model and dropped the price of the 64C, and it helped the Commodore 64 line outlive every other 8-bit platform of the era. This has been 3 Minute Retro. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe and I'll see you soon. Thank you.